DreAllDay.com.
What we're about to talk about this morning, y'all, is work-life balance. All of you have heard that phrase before. How do you balance your work and how do you balance your life? And I'm going to tell you why you don't want a work-life balance and how to completely eliminate a work-life balance. Because I actually, as I said a second ago, I hate that phrase. People ask me about balance all the time. They say, how much time should I spend on my work or on my business versus time I spend, just living life, spending time with my kids, spending time with my girl, spending time with my family, or just doing life things like taking a walk in the park, hanging on the beach. How much time should I spend balancing the work versus balancing my life? People say to me, Dre, well, when do you take time off? You seem like you're always working. When people ask you when you're working, you say you're always working. Everything that you do is work. When do you actually take time off to just enjoy life when you're not actually out there working? Or they say something like, well, Dre, what do you do when you're not actually working? What are the things that you do when you're not doing some type of business or doing something that's related to money or doing something that's related to work? When do you do those things? This is the thing that all of you have to understand. There should not be a such thing as a work-life balance. I'm going to explain to you exactly why. Because first of all, think about what the word balance means. If you're trying to balance two different things, what does that mean? If any of you ever seen a seesaw before, you know what a seesaw is. If you're balancing two different things, that means that you're compromising a little bit on this one and you're compromising a little bit on this one, right? So why would you, what's going on, Shaq 14699? If you're balancing your work and your life, think about this. Why would you want to only do some of your life and some of your work? Why would you want to balance either one of them? Why would you want to do 50%? Why would you want to work 50% with 50% of your effort, 50% of your energy, 50% of your time, and then only give 50% of your energy, time, and effort to your life? Why would you only want half of your life? Wouldn't you want to be able to live your life 100%? And wouldn't you want to go to work and give 100% at your work every single day? Why would you want to balance those two? That doesn't even make any sense. So you don't want a work-life balance because that denotes you're trying to balance and compromise on both. This means you're living 50% of your life and you're giving 50% to your work. That makes no sense at all. What's going on? Hello, Hadisha. How you feeling? So there, you got your hello. Now, these things that I talk about often, what's going on, staying fresh for life. I talk about often, people ask me these either or questions. They like, Dre, you made 4,000 videos on YouTube. You blog every single day. You do periscopes every single day. Is it better to have quality or quantity? What's up, Ricky? People ask me, what's better, quality or quantity? What's better? Should I balance my work in my life or should I do everything? And here's somebody saying that work should be 50% life. Listen, understand this. There is no either or. I'm not an either or type of individual. Don't ever come to me and say that you can't have your cake and eat it too. I remember this girl I was dating said that to me once. I dumped her. You can't have your cake and not eat it. All right, if you're not gonna have a cake and not eat none. Tomorrow, Thanksgiving, some of y'all gonna have sweet potato pie. Some of y'all gonna have apple pie. You're gonna have, what's the other one? Pumpkin pie. You're not balancing. You can't have it and not eat it. All right, nobody's gonna sit there and look at a pie sitting on the table and nobody's eating it. There is no work-life balance. There isn't an either or. You want all of it. You want both. What's going on, Darley? What's up, Cindy Valentine? James Bueno said cranberry pie. Listen, cranberry pie. Listen, you want all of it. I'm not an either or type of individual. I'm an everything all type of person. So don't say you could have this one or you could have this one. I'm like, well, what do we got to do for me to have both of them? All right, I don't want to have to pick between the two. I want all of it. All right, and all of you can have all of it too. It's just a mindset. It's not about what you have. It's not about how much money you got to spend. It's not about where you from or who you with. You want it all. All right, you want everything. Now, just because you want it all, does that necessarily mean you're going to get it all? No. But guess what? I guarantee you will never get it all if you don't have the mentality of wanting it all. Do you understand what I'm saying right there? You will never get it all if you don't have the mentality of getting it all. I guarantee you will get less than what you expect as soon as you start setting your expectations lower. So let me explain to you what I mean with this. You ever hear, sometimes I go on people's websites, like their personal websites, and it'll say something on their website or on their Twitter profile or on their Periscope. They'll say something like, this is what I do, but it's not who I am. Any of you ever heard that phrase before? I go on people's personal websites and it'll say, well, this is the business that I'm in. This is what I do for work. This is my work experience. And then it'll say, it is what I do, but it's not who I am. And then people put an exclamation point on it, like they proud of it. Like, hey, this is what I do for work, but it's not who I am as a person. Listen, what y'all need to know about me, and there may be some of you watching me for the first time, or maybe you only watched me a few times, you don't know that much about me. But as you get to know me, understand this. Every single thing I do is who I am. Every Periscope video, this is who I am. Every tweet that I send out, if you follow me on Facebook, if you look at my Instagram posts, if you see my YouTube videos, every blog that I write, every book that I write, every single thing that I do, if you ever meet me in real life, I'm the exact same person. Everything I do is who I am. There is no separation between church and state. All right. So when I'm working or when I'm doing something personally, is the exact same person. So if this camera was not here and I was having a conversation with you and we just sitting here and you asked me about work-life balance, we had the exact same conversation in person with no cameras that we have when the cameras are on. So I want y'all to understand that when people say it's what I do, but it's not who I am, that makes no sense to me. Because think about this. We all got 24 hours in a day, right? So we all sleep, let's just say 8 hours a day. You spend 8 hours a day sleeping. Most of us, we spend about 8 hours a day working. And then you got 8 hours a day to do whatever it is you're doing. So we all spend 8 hours sleeping. That's pretty much set in stone. I think most of us get about 8 hours. Let's just say on average, 8 hours of sleep per day. That leaves 16 hours, which means if you're spending 8 hours at work, that's half of your waking life. You're spending half of your life that you're going to be awake working. Why would you not want that to be part of who you are? It's half of your life. Why would you spend half of your life doing something that's not you? Of course you want it to be who you are. And some people may say, well, what if you're in a situation where you can't really do what you really love doing for work right now? You can't really do it to make money. You got to go do something that you don't really love. It's not really who you are, but you got to do it to pay the bills. You got to do it to keep food on the table for your kids and things like that and clothes on your back. I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm going to explain to you exactly how all of that works, because understand that all of this is not necessarily a tactical thing. This is a mindset thing, because if you don't have the right mindset, you can have all the right tactics and still get it wrong. So what I try to help people with, that's why I call myself an empowerment expert, so people get the mindset. And when the mindset is right, all the other stuff will fall in line. You'll eventually find the tactics when you got the right mindset. So that's what I specialize in, is that mindset. So understand, follow what I'm about to say right here. All right. So what I just said, why would you limit the amount of energy, time, effort? Because that's all it is. When you're talking about half of your life is energy, there's time, there's effort, there's resources that you're putting into those. All of those things are resources. Money's another resource. Why would you limit the amount that you're going to put into your life? Everybody here wants to live life to the fullest. Is that true or not true? Is there anybody here who does not want to live life to the fullest? If there's anyone here who doesn't want to live life to the fullest, let us know. But I think all of you want to live life to the fullest. Nobody wants to live life 50%. All right, so why would you? So if you're balancing your work and your life, you have basically told your subconscious mind, find ways so I can live life 50%, so I can spend the other 50% of my life doing work. That makes no sense. All of you want to live life to the fullest. Everybody's heard that phrase. It might be a cliche, but guess what? I want that. That's a cliche that I want. I want to live my life 100% to the fullest. Now, when we talk about work, I've had jobs. Listen, I've had jobs before I got into my entrepreneurship, before I started playing pro basketball. I had a whole bunch of jobs that I did not love. I was not a huge fan of them. I didn't want to put 100% of myself into them. I worked at CVS. I worked at a movie theater. I worked at Friendly's restaurant. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at a water ice stand. Where else I worked at? I worked at a different movie theater. I worked at Hat World. I worked at like 3 different gyms: LA Fitness, Philadelphia Sports Club, Bally Total Fitness. I worked in a telemarketing call center, answering phones and trying to get people to win $1 million and selling magazines. I did all of this stuff. So I worked at a whole lot of jobs before I worked at Foot Locker. I didn't work at Chance. I worked at Foot Locker. That's another place that I worked. Where else did I work? I can't even remember all the jobs that I had. But listen, the point of it is I've worked in a whole lot of places where I didn't want to put 100% of myself into it. So people say, when you talk about that work-life balance, you want to be able to get out of those things and start doing things that you actually like. What's going on, Jatana? You want to start doing things that you actually love so you can put 100% of yourself into it, right? And that makes sense. So I already talked about you spend a third of your life sleep, half of that waking life working, half of that waking life doing whatever you want to do, living your life. But you don't want to have to separate those two. What I'd rather do, if I'm going to have 16 hours a day, right? I got 16 hours when I'm awake every single day. Understand we're using 8 hours as a balance. I know some of you sleep more, some less. 16 hours awake. I want to be living life to the fullest and working as hard as I possibly can during that entire 16 hours. I want all of it. That's what I want. I want it all. I want to be able to have all 16 hours be life and work. So how do you do that? All right, here's the first step. Here's the first step to eliminating the work-life balance. All right, now here's another thing. Let me explain about the work-life balance. Have y'all ever recognized, or if you think about it right now, that most people talk about having a work-life balance? You hear a lot of people talk about that, right? I want to have a work-life balance, or you see somebody who works all the time and then maybe they take a day where they're vacationing, or they go hang at there's actually this girl I was following on Instagram. We started following each other like 2 months ago, right? And I guess she works a lot. When I met her, she was at work. And then we started following each other on Instagram because I think we exchanged emails or whatever. And on one of her Instagram posts, she was at the beach. She was at the beach in Miami, and she used the hashtag balance. Like, yeah, this is a day where I'm not working, I'm not at school, I'm not studying. I'm just spending my day on the beach. And she used the hashtag balance as if it was something to be proud of. I don't think it's something to be proud of, because listen, why would you even want to balance those things? And if this is the point that I said, y'all all heard people say work-life balance before, right? So if most people are doing something, this is something that this is like a principle of mine. And this is something that if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. If you see most people saying something, most people thinking something, most people agreeing with something, it's usually the wrong thing. And when I say wrong, that means is the thing that's going to lead you to being more average. It's going to lead you to being part of the mediocre, the middle, that group in the middle. Y'all know what a bell curve is, right? Where you got a few people at the bottom, a whole bunch of people in the middle, and a few people at the top. If you want to be part of that bell curve in the middle, which is the mediocre, the average people, then do what most people would do. See, if most people want work-life balance, that means you don't want work-life balance. Does that make sense to everybody? Just off the fact that most people want it, I want to figure out. If I look around, I see most people are thinking something, or most people agree with some point. The first thing I'm thinking is, okay, what do I need to do so I'm not thinking that way or agreeing with that? I know that there's something that I need to be thinking or doing or saying, or something I need to be believing that makes me different from that group, because I don't want to be doing what most people are doing. All right, so as soon as I see most people doing something, I'm automatically start thinking, all right, how can I do the opposite? How can I do more? How can I do less? I got to somehow get out of that. Locus, exactly. The in crowd, exactly. So here's the thing. Here's the 2 steps that you need when we talk about eliminating work-life balance. Here's number 1. Do what you actually like doing. Do something that you actually like doing, and then come up with a way to make money actually doing it. Now, some people are looking at the screen right now like, okay, yeah, that sounds simple enough, Dre, but how are we actually going to do that? What's going on, SKR23? James said play ball. Yeah, that's one thing. Play ball if you love playing ball. Write books if you love writing books. Make Periscope videos if you love making Periscope videos. Build counters if you like building counters. Make t-shirts if you like making t-shirts. So how are you actually going to do that? How can you do what you actually love and then find a way to make money from it? I got really good news for all of you right now. I got good news. I got some good news. I got some bad news, actually. Let me share the good news first. The good news is any one of you can make money doing what you actually love doing. That is a guarantee. There is a way you can make money doing what you actually love doing. Let me tell you a quick story. In 2009, this is about halfway through my professional basketball career. I played overseas for 9 years, for those of you who don't know. At that time, I was having a lot of ups and downs. And ups and downs meaning, ups meaning I had a contract signed and I was playing. Downs meaning I had no contract and I was an unemployed basketball player. So during these ups and downs, at some point I said to myself, you know what? I have no control here. I have no control over my career, no control over my destiny. I'm still going to play basketball, but I need to start doing something on the side of playing basketball where I have some control and I can do what I actually love doing and still be able to make some income from it. And that's where Dre All Day came from. That's where Work on Your Game came from. That's where my website, dreallday.com, came from. That's where 4,000 YouTube videos came from. That's where me building my brand came from. That's where all of this stuff that you see, if you Google me, everything that you see came from me asking that question. What can I do where I can actually enjoy what I'm doing, but actually make some money from it where I'm in control? Now, basketball, I enjoyed what I was doing. I was making money, but I had no control. So if I didn't have a contract, guess how much money I was making? 0. And that's where you get CVS and the movie theater and the gyms and the telemarketing jobs, because I wasn't making no money playing basketball. Some of those were before then. But y'all get the point of what I'm saying. So you have to be able to first of all, figure out what it is that you love doing. Not a backup plan. No backup plans. Plan Bs are no. I'm not a fan of plan B. And that's a whole separate scope that I'm going to do. I am not a fan of the phrase plan B. Don't ever talk to me about plan Bs, all right? But we're going to get to that in a different scope. Just follow me and you'll catch that. So the number 1 thing is figure out what it is you actually love doing, all right? Figure out what that is. Write it down. Figure out what you love doing and then start looking around. I guarantee you there's a 99% chance there's somebody already making money doing what you love doing. So if you think you can't make money from it, I guarantee there's somebody making money from it. There was this guy, when I worked at this gym, right? I worked at this gym in Philly called Philadelphia Sports Club, 2006. And my manager was this dude named Gary. Good dude. White guy. He lived in Society Hill. I remember one time I was talking to him, and we were just talking about life after we got to know each other a little bit. And I'm like, yo, when I got the job, I told him, I just came from playing basketball overseas. And he was like, how long do you plan on being in the United States? And then my real answer was, as soon as I get a call, I'm out of here. But I kind of massaged the truth a little bit just so he would give me the job. Because if I said, listen, as soon as somebody called me, I'm leaving, he wouldn't have hired me for the job. But he hired me for the job. I worked there for about 6 months before I got my next opportunity. That was actually before I moved to Miami. And one day I'm talking to him, and I'm like, yeah, when I get my next opportunity playing basketball, I'm going to be out to go play ball. And I said to him, Gary, what do you actually love doing? Because nobody who works in a place like that loves doing it. He was a manager at some corporation, a sales manager. Nobody grows up saying, I want to be a sales manager. Nobody says that. So he was a sales manager. I said, Gary, what do you actually want to do? What would you do with your life if you could do anything? He said, well, Dre, there's a lot of things I love doing, but the things that I love doing don't make money. Any of you ever heard that phrase or even said it to yourself? Like Kanye West said in the song, the major that she majored in don't make no money. Any of you have ever heard somebody say that? Well, I love doing ABC, but it doesn't make any money. Or I would really love to be this, but it doesn't make any money. Or, yeah, I know you love that, but guess what? You don't make any money doing that. That is a false dichotomy. That is not true. Maybe it was true in 2006. Maybe it was true in 2004. In 2015, you can make money doing anything. There's money to be made in every field. And there's this guy named Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, Jim Rohn. Yeah, but she won't drop out. The parents will look at her funny. Exactly. Jim Rohn said this. He said when he first met his mentor, for those of you who don't know who Jim Rohn is, he's like a famous personal development. He was a speaker. He was a salesperson. But he put out all this material like what we call personal development, like stuff to make you think better about your life, the audio tapes and the books. Y'all know Jim Rohn. If you don't know who Jim Rohn is, look him up. R-O-H-N is how you spell his last name. And one of the things that he said when he first met his first mentor, Jim was doing a lot of complaining about his job. His mentor was a guy named Earl. And Jim said to Earl, my job doesn't pay any money. I like my job, but they don't pay. Exactly. Jim Rohn. There's the name right there. Thank you, James. Jim Rohn said, Earl, my job doesn't pay any money. And Earl looked at his paycheck and said, listen, your job pays a lot of money. That's just all they pay you. That's all you get. And then Earl said to Jim, listen, are there people at your job, at your same company, who do the same job as you, who make 2 or 3 times as much money as you make? And Jim said, well, yeah. And Earl said, okay then. So the company does pay more money. They just don't pay it to you. That's just all you get because that's all you're worth. That's all the value you're bringing. So that's all the money you're getting. So if any of you are thinking right now, and what you'll understand about me, the more you follow me, is that I like to be very direct in my conversation. I don't like to give people a lot of BS and fluff. I want to tell you what it actually is, because when people hear what it actually is, then they're responsible for actually doing something with it, or they're responsible for doing nothing. But I want to make sure that you do know what it actually is. So here it is. If you have something that you love doing and you've had the idea or the mentality or the belief, the limiting belief that there's no money to be made from it, now you know that's complete BS, because I guarantee you there's somebody already making money from it. You just not making the money. So you can go make the money. Now that you're aware of this, now you're responsible for go finding the ways to make the money. So how do you find the ways to make the money? Simple. Get on the internet and find somebody who's already making money doing what you're doing. And this is what you do. Send them an email. Email that person and say, yo, I see that you're making money doing this. I heard of you. I found you because I was looking up how to make money doing this. What do I need to do? Tell me what I need to do. When I wanted to get into professional speaking business, I looked around. I knew somebody who was in Miami. I had seen her at an event that wasn't a speaking event. I knew she was a speaker, and I knew she lived in Miami. I emailed her. I said, yo, I want to be a speaker. What do I need to do? She got on the phone with me. She gave me some information. Was that all that happened? Was it like the rest is history and I became a $1 million speaker? No, that's not all that happened. But the point is, I took initiative immediately. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't do. They get information, they get fired up about it, they get excited, they like, yo, that's great information. I love the fact that he said that. I wrote it down. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And 24 hours later, they go right back to where they were before they got the information, doing absolutely nothing. Don't be that person. Take the information that you're getting right now and go do something with it. So here's step 1. Figure out what it is that you actually love doing, and then figure out ways that you can start making some money on it. Now, understand that once you figure out those ways, doesn't mean the money's just going to start pouring in tomorrow. Not necessarily. Probably not. what you're going to have to do is just start working slowly on the side every day. So let's say you got a 9-to-5 job, you 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours working, maybe you got 2-3 hours to take for you to travel, spend with your kids, your wife. You got to find at least 1 hour a day to start working on that thing, whatever it is. If it's paper crochet, if it's YouTube videos, if it's writing books, whatever, if it's sewing socks, whatever it is that you like to do, you got to put aside an hour a day, 1 hour per day, working on this thing. Ruth 19780 said, marry her. Let me see the ring, Ruth. You got to show me the ring. What's going on, Eliza Fox? Locust, exactly. Grinding, working out, exactly. So look, you got to put aside 1 hour per day. This is what you owe yourself. This ain't for me. This ain't for nobody else. This is for you. You got to put aside an hour a day at least. If you can do 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, do it. An hour a day working on that thing. So if you want to be a painter, you should be painting for an hour a day. You want to be a writer, you should be writing for an hour a day. You want to make videos, get on Periscope and make videos an hour a day. And yes, publish the stuff that you put out. So don't write and throw it in the trash. I know a lot of people who write, they say, I want to start blogging, or I want to start making videos. Videos and writing, these are two things people talk to me about all the time because I do them a lot. And they say, I made a whole bunch of videos, Dre. And what I tell them is, you got a smartphone, right? They say, yeah. I say, all right, you got a camera. So start recording videos and put them out. Put them on YouTube, put them on Facebook, put them on Periscope. What up, Said? Checking in from Louisiana. He's from Houston. Shout out to Houston. And they say, then I come to them a week later. I'm like, did you make the videos? There was this girl named Erica I knew a couple years ago. I still know her, but a couple years ago we talking about this. And I was like, Erica, start recording videos. She was like, all right. A week later, I talked to Erica. I said, did you record videos? She said, yeah, I recorded videos. I said, where they at? She said, well, I deleted all the videos. Well, thank you, Eliza. She said, I deleted all the videos. I said, why'd you delete them? She's like, I don't like the way that I looked in the videos. I thought I sounded stupid. I don't like the way the light reflected off my face. So I deleted the videos. Listen, put the videos out. Why should you put the videos out? So even if it's writing, it's the same thing for writing. Let's say you're a terrible writer and you write a couple of blog posts and you just think they absolutely suck. You know why you should put them out anyway? Because guess how many people are watching your videos and reading you now? Nobody. You don't have any fans now. You don't have any followers or subscribers now. So why does it matter if you put out something that sucks? Yes, I do have Instagram. My name is @Dre Baldwin. Can somebody comment that? @Dre Baldwin, my Instagram name. So people know what my Instagram name is, @Dre Baldwin. And anybody want to get on Instagram. So what you're writing in your videos, whatever it is, don't matter what it is, put the stuff out. Thank you, James Baldwin, Dre Baldwin. Put this stuff out. Exactly. You have nothing to lose because nobody's reading you anyway. You have no readers on your blog. So just put it out. You have no subscribers on your YouTube channel. Put it out. There's nobody following you on Periscope. Put it out. Understand, you will only get better by putting yourself out there to the point that you're forcing yourself to get better. You can't practice your way to being good. Well, you can practice your way, but you can't. That's not the way to say it. You don't want to trial your way. You can't put everything in your drafts. Like, you can't have 1,000 blog posts saved in the drafts. You can't have 1,000 YouTube videos saved in your iMovie or your Final Cut Pro or your Windows Movie Maker. Put it out there. Let it suck. And you'll be forced to make another one so that you have something better that represents you. Understand that? Put this stuff out there. Next thing is this. Live your life to the fullest. What does that mean? Live your life to the fullest. When I say live your life to the fullest, this is what it means. Well, first thing you got to understand, it's probably going to require some resources, right? Living your life to the fullest is going to require some time. You're going to need time to live life. You're going to need some energy to live life. You're going to need to put forth some effort to live life. You're probably going to need some money to live life. Because when you ask people, what does living your life to the fullest mean? What do we usually say when somebody asks you, what does it mean to live your life to the fullest? We usually start talking about things that cost money, right? Maybe go to the beach. And going to the beach costs money because we're not at work, right? Go to the beach. Maybe you want to go to Disney World. Maybe you want to travel the world. Maybe you want to go to Las Vegas. You want to go to New York City. You want to go to Paris. You want to go to Russia. You want to go to Miami. You want to do things that actually cost money. They take time and they take energy. All right. Those are all resources that are required. So how do you get those resources? One way is that if you're not sure what that thing is for you, what you're actually going to do that makes you make the money on the side where you can eventually maybe make it into a full-time business, email me and I'll help you out. My email is dre@dreallday.com. Can somebody please post that in the comments? Email address, dre@dreallday.com. If you have a question, you're not sure what it is you can actually start doing on the side that can help you to start actually loving your work and be able to live your life to the fullest. Understand this is not an overnight thing. Thank you, James Bueno. This is not an overnight thing that's going to happen, but it's something that you have to start now in order for it to become that quote-unquote overnight success. Y'all know the overnight success cliches. Work for 10 years straight, become an overnight success. Bryce Norris, thank you. James said you should be my personal assistant. I don't know. Just send me your resume. All right, so look. Dre@dreallday.com is the email for those of you who might not have an idea, or maybe you have an idea of what you want to do, but you're not sure how you can make money from it, or you're not sure if there's a way that you can make money from it, things like that. Email me, Dre@dreallday.com. Let me know what that thing is, or those 2 or 3 things are. You're trying to figure out what it is, and I will help you out. I'm an idea machine. I'll show you exactly. I'll tell you exactly what you can do moving forward in a way that you can actually monetize that thing. And I'm also going to be doing some webinars. Moving forward, webinars, I'm just setting up the back end of the webinars. The recordings is already done. We're just trying to set up the mechanical stuff, like the back ends and this URL and making it replay at the right time and the dates and the signups and the emails and all that. We are going to get all that set up. We're working on all that like as we speak. Once that's set up, the webinars will be out, and you can sign up for webinar alerts at dreallday.com/webinar. dreallday.com/webinar will give you that information. And I'm going to do more about this coming soon. I'm going to have a whole lot of content when it comes to building your brand, being able to make your work something you actually enjoy so that you can do it to the fullest, because you want to put 1,000% of your energy into something that you actually love doing, right? If you don't love doing something, it's hard to put 1,000% of yourself into it. And I get it. When I worked at CVS, I wasn't trying to put 1,000% of myself into working at CVS. I was putting lotion and deodorant on the shelves. What fulfillment was I getting out of that? Nothing but the $6 an hour that they were paying me. So I was thinking the whole time that I'm working there, I'm figuring out how can I get out of here so I can go do what I actually want to do. And that is, how I started to get the ideas. That's how I started to piece together the ideas of building a brand, being able to monetize things like that, and understand that the learning curve and the time path that it took me to actually do all that is not going to be the same for you. It actually can be a whole lot shorter, because in 2006, from 2005 to 2010, it wasn't like it is now in 2015. It wasn't so easy to start monetizing stuff. Webinars wasn't the normal thing. Being able to monetize YouTube videos did not exist. All of that stuff didn't exist back then. You couldn't just create a program and be selling it by the end of the day like I did when I started selling my basketball training programs. What's going on? Polina Stick. People wasn't able to do that in 2007. When I started doing Hoop Handbook and started selling my basketball training programs in 2010, somebody gave me the idea in the morning. I wrote the program in the afternoon, and I was selling it by nighttime. That didn't exist back then. But now you can do it immediately, and you can sell whatever you want to sell as much as you want for as much money as you want immediately. You just got to have the ideas, and you got to have the right vehicle to actually get it done. There's so many vehicles out there for you. I'm going to show you exactly how that's done. So you make sure you keep following me here on Periscope if you're watching this on Periscope, YouTube if you're watching me on YouTube. Make sure you are signed up to my webinar list at dreallday.com/webinar. If you want to read my first book, it is called Buy a Game. It's my basketball story up through my college years. You can get that at dreallday.com. Just go to the website. You'll see a big pop-up come up when you go to the site. Put in your email address. We'll send you that book completely free of charge. You can read it immediately. I guarantee that you're going to love that book. It gives you a lot of insight into my style, my writing style, my thinking style, and what eventually became those videos. I put that book out in 2012. I've since published 4 other books and 150 training programs if you happen to be a basketball player. But here on Periscope, I'm going to be doing more of these scopes where I talk about this type of stuff, building up your business, building up your marketing machine, building your brand, and actually making money from it so that you can actually do what you enjoy doing, not what you have to do. You understand what I'm saying? So that's it for this Periscope stream. I will take a question or two if anybody got a question. I know some people here might have some things that I didn't cover that you might want to ask about as pertains to the work-life balance. I am going to do more Periscope streams today too. Yeah, the Mental Handbook, Mirror Motivation, or the Jump Manual, I did not actually write that. I'm talking about the Super U and the Overseas Basketball Blueprint. Those are the other 2 books. But you can find all my books on Amazon. If you just search my name or go to dreallday.com/Amazon, you will see those. You'll see all my books that I've written, my programs that I put out. I got some PDFs actually going to come out today, as long as I get them edited the right way. All right, so we're going to wrap up this Periscope stream, everybody. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your participation. Make sure y'all follow me here on Periscope because I do this all the time. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Thanks for watching this video. I'm sure you were entertained. Make sure to stay connected with me on all your favorite social networks. Twitter and Periscope at DreAllDay. Instagram, Dre Baldwin. Facebook /WorkOnYourGame. You can bookmark my YouTube channel by subscribing, of course. And the website is workonyourgame, that's .me, workonyourga.me. And of course, my homepage is my website, dreallday.com, so you can know exactly what I'm doing, exactly when I'm doing it, and how you might be able to be involved. Work on your game.